Hey guys, it's Carla. As I ease back into doing these full-length tutorials, I thought I would start with something really simple. So I've got my colors out on the palette. I've got white, obviously, and this is burnt umber, and English navy, which is just a dark blue, so whatever you have that's close to those colors will be fine. And as usual, I use just cheap supplies, cheap paint, cheap brushes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the cabin of the boat. And I'm going to use a little round brush for this. So what I want to do first is brush in my main color, which would be just kind of a very light brown. Pick up a little water. And I want to keep it very loose. If you've watched my other videos, you know I like to keep it loose. And when I say loose, I just mean, like, don't spend too much time in one spot. Just even leave some of the background showing. It just, I like that look. If you like it, if you like the tighter look, then just take your time with it and make sure everything's covered, but I do like the loose look. All right, now I want to darken it a little bit and put some of my shadows in. Now I'm using, this is actually watercolor paper, but you can use it, you can do the same thing on, I'm not doing watercolor, so you can do the same thing on canvas. Or one thing I've been using lately is 140-pound cardstock paper. It's cheaper than canvas, and it gives you that smooth surface. So if you're doing something that requires some texture, then the watercolor paper is nice. But if you need a smooth surface, then the cardstock is great and very inexpensive. All right, let me go ahead and rinse my brush and get that really dark door color in, or door opening. And maybe up here where it's really shaded. The more darks and lights you have, the more contrast you'll have, and depth. It'll make it look more dimensional. Water that down a little bit and kind of make a distinction here between the front and the sides. Just very loosely. All right, now I'm gonna grab a flat brush and paint the base color of the boat, which will be probably maybe a light version of this, but you can mix up these colors and just do whatever you want with them, but I'm just playing around with them. So very loose. There's times when you really have to spend extra time in a spot, but for the most part, when you're going for that loose look, you want to just keep your brush moving. All right. Now, while I'm thinking about it, I want to go ahead and paint Noah, which I'm not doing any kind of detail or anything on that, just a silhouette. So you want a small brush for this. In fact, I might have gotten too big of a brush. Let's see what I can do here. That works. All right. Okay, so now I want to put a little bit of, I don't want to say detail because I don't like detailed paintings like that look like a photograph. I like messy paintings. But you do need a little bit of detail. So I'm just going to kind of skip around and do these boards on the ARK. The lines between the boards, rather. And down through here, we want some definition. Because it looks like the light is mostly coming from kind of back behind, but more on this side. So I'm going to put a shadow right here. I guess I'll just use my flat brush again for that. So I want to pick up this dark color. And just very loosely just brush this in. And down toward the water, it's going to be darker. All right. What else does it need? Oh, some shadow right in there. Just grab a round brush for that. So this is just that watered down dark shade. And just want to put a little bit of shadow in there just to kind of define it. Might be ready to start on the water. And this is going to be very loose, so it's not going to be any kind of detailed water tutorial or anything. It's just going to be, you know that it's a boat, so you're going to assume that that's water. So So let me find a brush that will work. Maybe a bigger flat brush. So I'm going to mix up some more of that dark shade. All right. So with the edge of my brush, I'm going to put in some dark streaks. I'm just barely touching the, I started to say canvas, the paper. And I'm just skipping around and putting in just kind of the indication of some movement in the water. I'll go up a little bit in the back to make it look like he's not just sitting on the edge of the water. Okay. Now I'm going to use that same brush and water this down so that I get a lighter shade. And if you're doing this on canvas, then you might want to use like extender or something like that. But on paper, water works fine. So I'm just very loosely brushing in some lighter color. All right, now for the sky. So I'm going to use that same shade for part of it. And I just want to loosely, I've got this very watered down, and I want to loosely put in some movement up here in the sky. Remember this, not necessarily a storm, but it is raining, so. And maybe a little bit of this shade watered down. Just to add some kind of a different flavor to it. All right, and I think I might take some white, just plain white, and just kind of brighten this up around him and the boat. Just kind of soften it out. It just kind of gives it a little bit of a glow. Now I feel like I need to define that roof a little bit, so I'm gonna, that's my brush, and maybe use this color. Just using the edge of the brush. Maybe streak some of it down in to the roof. Okay, that defined it a lot better. Okay. Now, I don't know if you like the look of, it's almost like watercolor, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to take a liner brush and dip into just white, and places where maybe I didn't leave enough white, like you see in watercolor, I'm gonna, and it just kind of highlights it. If you don't like that look, then feel free to not do it, but it really brightens up the painting. So just here and there, just touch in a little bit of white. And then down here in the water, there should be some white. Just here and there. All right. Now, I think I'm ready to start on the rain. So, let's see what I can use for that. Maybe this edge of my my knife, which seems to be bent. Okay, so I'm going to use this short edge of the knife and pick up just white. And it looks better when you're painting rain if the rain is kind of angled a little bit instead of just coming straight down, because typically the wind is blowing and it is angled. So I just want to just kind of tap this in. Don't be afraid to come out over your painting because it's raining on it too. I mean, over your boat. It's even raining on Mr. Noah there. Just keep all of your rain streaks going the same direction. Okay, and maybe maybe there's some little splatters down here. All right, let's see what we've got here. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, and God bless you.